Why not?
Yeah, not for me.
Well, not for either of us.
Right.
All right. Okay, well, we are scooting along. We will let you know when that is completely and entirely gone. I love, we're all wearing a lot of hats as moms and dads, homeschooling, the whole 9 yards. So if my coordinating skills are not the best, forgive me. Switch this out. Whoa, Mr. Michael Mezak. Is that what your mom called you? I feel like I should slap your hand with a ruler. Mr. Michael Mezak. What are you doing with this $79.95 price?
Yeah, there's not a lot of things that I ever sell here that I regret. Okay, I kind of regret putting this one together at the sale price of $79.95 because what the market has done right now, in all honesty, I have to be honest with you, I've just vastly underpriced the coin. Because you know how it is. We work in a week or 2 weeks, a particular coin that's this important, that we have the flag core, NGC flag core, early release, emergency production. It's mint state 69. I would have sold every single one of them at $99.95. But I had to do $79.95. I guess that's in my nature, if that's what you think. And so I'm doing it. But I can tell you right now, this is a special opportunity. So it's the same emergency release coin, just one grade lower. Mint State 69, different grading company. This is NGC now. Now, one of the cool things about NGC is you're looking at this flag core. The flag core is, again, exclusive to me. Now, here's the amazing part of this. And you get the letter. We'll go over the letter here in just a minute. You get the letter. Here's the amazing part. Flag Core 2020 American Silver Eagles. Flag Core American 2020 Silver Eagles that you see right here. Even if they were 2020 regulars, they would be $79.95 in Mint State 69. Okay? I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. $79.95 is the price of the regular Silver Eagle, whether it be 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017. In flag core, in Mint State 69, our price is $79.95. That's why I was so proud of this 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, and why, in all honesty, I regret it a little bit now because there's no more coins. So I have only the coins that I have available here, and so now you have the opportunity to get this emergency production. Let's say the Mint State 70 wasn't important to you, but you want to mark this time and place right here. This is the way to do it. Oh. And this is price. So I have the hottest coin in the history of numismatics, and we took 20% off.
Okay, that's unbelievable. In fact, I know you don't see that reflected in the graphics in terms of that, forgive the phrasing, the COVID coin or the emergency issue. I mean, I'm trying to, manage my political correctness here in terms of how I describe this, but that's what it is. And I don't care if there's a birthday. My nephew, now he's almost a teenager. I think of my nephew. I think of my dad for Father's Day. If there's somebody that you want to get a legacy coin for, and that's why I say, even in our last coin, people are buying one and then, an heir and a spare. People are doing this, and I can promise you at that price point, I still am flummoxed as to why you did a price adjustment on this. I really am, and especially when you have that flex pay and the return policy. Mike, I think it's important. We're about a third of the way through our show. Can we give just kind of a basic education process? So if somebody's looking at the core, if somebody's looking at the grade, if they're wondering the significance of the letter, the mintage, I know we've only got 5 minutes, just ballpark if people are channel surfing.
Yeah, well, what it comes down to is there's several layers of collectability here. First of all, coins mark time and place. And this, nothing more important than this. So in 2020, the United States government, late 2019, the United States Mint decides they're changing the design of the American Silver Eagle. That, in and of itself, was momentous. It was titanic. It was absolutely cataclysmic from a numismatic standpoint because they've never changed it since 1986. Overnight, from January through April, the most popularly selling Silver Eagle in the history of the American Silver Eagle program, the 2020. But then the United States Mint had to shut down the San Francisco facility. And then for the very first time, they had to shut down the West Point Mint facility. And so for 12 days, Because of the popularity of the American Silver Eagle, already the United States Mint is literally millions of coins behind. And then they have to shut down the sole production facility for the American Mint State Silver Eagle. And for those 12 days, the Philadelphia Mint did everything they could and jumped in. If we can look at that letter, I'm going to start the second paragraph. Typically, the American Silver Eagle bullion coins are minted at the Mint's West Point facility. However, due to the reduced production at the West Point Mint facility amid the coronavirus pandemic from April 8th until April 20th, the United States Mint produced 240,000 coins at Philadelphia. You have the box numbers there. They were manually packed. They do not grade very well. Even Mint State 69 is considered a high grade. So you had to get the original box. You had to get it sealed. The Mint does not sell them directly to the United States public. We had to get those and get them to the grading company, and then they certified the provenance, in other words, where the coin comes from. The fact that it is from the Philadelphia Mint, there's one of the boxes right there, and you can see the box number. They had the box numbers that were from Philadelphia in the Mint letter. And so what I have got is your opportunity to get one of these emergency issue coins. Let's say the Mint State 70 wasn't the most important thing to you, but you absolutely wanted one of these coins to mark this incredible time and place. This is the way to do it. And we have it with our exclusive flag core at literally the same exact price I sell a regular coin for, and this is the second rarest Mint State Silver Eagle ever made by the United States government. The rarest being the Philadelphia minted Silver Eagle last time they helped out in 2015, which in the same grade is a $600 coin. And then you have this coin at $79.95. Literally, at this point, for what we charge for the flag core, our exclusive core from NGC, there is literally no premium for this. And you can own this phenomenal piece of history.
Well, and you can own multiples. In fact, there's a lot going on in the studio. I'm processing. By the way, that Touch ID on your phone can get you in trouble because, I mean, no kidding, that's how I'm shopping. Because if you, like Mike said, if Mint State 70, if that wasn't the ultimate decision maker for you, Mint State 69, you know, I would do it. I'm actually going to do a couple of these during this show because I know I can get them now. After the fact, of course, we can never make any promises. I love the fact that the letter comes with it. In fact, I'm going to do one for me, one for my dad, and one for my nephew Hunter. And this, like when I said, it checks all the boxes for sure. I'm going to put them all on FlexPay, and I'm going to do delivery direct, so I don't have to worry about, you know, how am I going to get them there? What are they, you know? I'm going to do delivery direct as well. And then, should my dad or my nephew or myself, if you decide you don't want it, there's always a return policy here at HSN. In fact, you can put that return label on the box. But Mike, at the end of the day, you know, I've been going through my house. Hey, we're all cleaning and organizing during these epic events. And I look at my house and I see nothing but purchases of regrets. It's like, why did I buy that purse? Why did I buy those shoes? What the was I thinking? That never happens with coins. I mean, we buy a lot of things in life, but I bet you never hear people like, I shouldn't have bought that thing.
Right. Now, well, look, if you're going to collect something, everybody collects something. I mean, it might as well be money.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, keep in mind in this particular coin, there's an ounce of pure silver in it. So understand there's a fairly significant intrinsic value to this. So now we have the historic value, the coin value, kind of the fact that this is the last year of issue of the heraldic eagle. And then we have this microcosm of collectability that is just really poignant in these times that really is part and parcel of current events. That is, you know, 1 in 300 coins is going to be from the Philadelphia Mint at the same exact price as the other coins. Is it any wonder? I think we've sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these coins at this point. What a great way to mark time and place in this beautiful, like I said, the flag core is exclusive to me. You have the early release. It's the emergency production from Philadelphia. And by the by, the letter from the Treasury comes with your coin.
Well, absolutely. And you know what? I can't encourage you enough to do it. And if you're like me, you might want to consider getting more than one, especially because, remember, you get returns, you get, you know, FlexPay. Hey, Mike is going to stick around. We've got some more surprise.